Hi there, my name is Henrietta Afari and I'm here to talk to you all about Timothy Kotin. I first met Tim at Harvard College when we were both enrolled as freshmen in 2007. From day one, I knew Tim was special. We were both surprised and delighted when we discovered that we had both grown up in Adenta in Accra. It was a rare treat to meet someone with whom you could relive your early primary school days. Timothy attended Adenta Community School and I attended Victory Presby Church School. Both schools were within walking distance from each other. Supposedly rival schools, but for the sake of this project, I won't say which school was the best one. When I learned of Tim's journey to Harvard, I was instantly impressed. The path to getting admitted to a college or university is not easy. In the US system, you have to try to distinguish yourself, not only academically, but also in your extracurricular activities. You have to also take the SAT exam. You have to find people to write strong letters of recommendation. Then you have to write a glowing personal statement that is deeply heartfelt and blows everybody's mind. I'm just kidding, it's not that intense. But the stakes are certainly high. Now, throw in getting into Harvard College and the stakes are much, much higher. I'm sure there are similar parallel metrics of excellence that apply to getting into colleges in Ghana and the rest of the world. Now, when I was applying to college, I was fortunate enough to have applied from the United Kingdom, where I finished high school and where I had all the resources to help me along the process. I had test prep and review books, I had counselors, I had mock interviews. Some of the US colleges actually came to my campus to recruit directly, so I was pretty fortunate in that regard. Tim applied directly from Ghana as a pre-sec student. And I doubt he had as many resources at his disposal as I did or as the average Harvard student did. But this was not a deterrent for Tim. I bet for Tim he said, look at this mighty wall of Jericho, watch me climb it, and he did exactly that. Thing is, Tim has had a big vision for his life for a long time, one that extended far beyond the walls of Adenta or even Ghana. He was a real force to be reckoned with when it came, for example, to applying for new opportunities. For Tim, it wasn't really a why, it was a why not. And I think that was a driving principle in Tim's life for as long as I have known him, and a life lesson that I personally borrowed and try to implement in my life even now. When people would ask me, should I apply for this competitive job or should I apply for this program? I tell them, well, why not? What's the worst thing that could happen? The worst thing is a no. And failure is a necessary step for success. I can confidently tell you that I have failed more times than I have succeeded, and I suspect Tim would say the same. To a large extent, I think we hope for success, but we expect failure. And when failure comes, we do not accept it as the final word. We learn from the experience and we try again. And I think this is an important secret sauce for success, not only for your academics, but in large swaths of your life as well. The other thing I was wanted to highlight, and I don't know if they still use words like shak or shakula in Ghana, fondly used to describe someone who is intellectually brilliant. Many describe smart and successful people as natural-born sharks, but I think it's more than that. Don't get me wrong, there's probably some merit to nature, but I think nurture is also super important. And by that, I mean working hard. As I've grown up, I have learned many successful people had to work extraordinarily hard to get to the heights that they've reached. And Tim was such a beautiful role model for this. For as long as I've known Tim, he's been such a hard worker. Tim has wanted to do engineering for a long time, though I think there may have been a brief period when he considered medicine. In our circles, we sometimes joke that it's rare to be smart and African and not have considered a career in medicine, if even for a brief moment, either because of parental, societal influences or spiritual influences, whatever it may be. And I may be guilty as charged. But I also strongly believe that you should find a path that's authentic to you. You should be interested in your career choice and enjoy it, not simply just to satisfy others or other people's expectations of you. I have met some incredible people who have excelled in all kinds of careers. And in most of these people, the key ingredients were that they loved what they did, they had unrelenting passion for what they did, they worked hard, and they had grit. And Tim had all of them. Tim was and is brilliant. He has an expansive mind. He has an unquenchable thirst for knowledge and success. But he's also incredibly human. He is kind, he is gentle, and he's humble. Believe it or not, it's hard to find people in top areas of leadership who can comfortably juggle all these traits. And Tim was one of those rare gems who could. The other thing about Tim is he took the essence of Sankofa to heart. Tim was always looking for ways to give back to the community that raised him and the community that he is intensely proud of. Even back in college, Tim always had a project or 2 or 3 or 100 that he was running with family and colleagues back in Ghana. Locally at Harvard, he did so much for the Harvard community. He was the president of HABIC, the African Business and Investment Club. He was the webmaster for the African Students Association. He was a founding member for the Society for Creativity and Innovation. He was a member for the Engineering Society and the Harvard Radcliffe Christian Fellowship. He volunteered frequently with the Phillips Brooks House Association. Many, many, many things that he did. The list goes on and on. So his schedule always seemed full, but yet Tim seemed to strike such a good and healthy balance in the things that mattered to him. Whenever you would run into Tim on the streets or in the dining hall, he would stop and talk to you for a long time as if you were his only agenda for the day. Every birthday that you invite him to, he will be there. That was Tim, and that was what made him very special to all of us. The other thing I also wanted to add, the journey to a successful career and life can be long, it can be tasking. It can be fun too. But through it all, I think it's important to find something that grounds you, an anchor that tethers you so you don't lose yourself on the journey. I don't think I'm speaking out of step, but for Tim, it was clear his key anchors were his faith and his family. And he modeled this so beautifully throughout our college days. Tim had wonderful mentors at Harvard, and he himself served as a mentor and life coach to so many that met him, including myself. Tim charted his course of what he wanted in his life, pre-Harvard, during Harvard, and I'm sure beyond Harvard. We both graduated from Harvard College in 2011. Then Tim went on to get a master's degree at the University of Cambridge in the UK. Then he worked for IBM. Then he did many other incredible things in his life, leaving in his wake this positive legacy and this indelible mark on all those who crossed paths with him. I just want to end by showing you our 2011 yearbook. This is our yearbook. I hope you can see it. In this yearbook, everybody had a small section, as you can see. But as you can see here, Mr. Kotin here, to where I'm pointing, he had this large feature. I mean, look at this power pose. This was a man who was determined. He was set to do many great things in life, as he is now, and I am sure he will continue to do. Thank you all for the chance to celebrate the wonderful man that is Timothy Kotin. Meda mo nyinaa ase for your time and attention. Thank you.